Yes, my people, now welcome to OEDA's Education Consults. And for this place, now we dey do programming, we dey make am simple. Simplify anything we have to do with programming. Remember, if you never subscribe to our channel, try may you do that so that any video we do, you go dey see am. Now remember, I say we dey build the website and they teach us how to build website. And we don't reach a particular stage. If you never check those videos, try and check them. Now remember, we get code test editor wey we dey use, code test editor. Well, I tell you why we dey use code test editor now, because it dey make things dey very simple for us. Now if we run this, may we run this our code, this index.html. Remember, I tell you, say if you want to build the websites, you need to create a folder, create them anywhere, maybe for your desktop or your documents, anywhere you want to create them. Then the first file where you go create, that they call index.html, and that one will be the running the major file where you go get. Any other thing file where you go use for that same website, make sure so you put all of them for inside that same folder. The picture where you go use, or everything where you go use for your background or for your logo, put them for inside this same folder with the index.html. Now, may we run this code, may we see where we don't reach. Control F5. Remember, now Control F5 is the runner for you want to run this code, or you come here, put your mouse for run, then you run without a bug. So may we see how where we don't reach. Now, if you see this one, this background image, now it is small. Now, why it is small? May we go back to our code. May we know why it be like that. See, it is small, and it is left position. It is small. Okay, let me run it again. Maybe you want to Control F5. Sorry. Let me share this so that I see which I try to show. So if you see our image now, background image, it is left and it is small. Why? Because maybe we will not specify cover the whole place. Now if you cancel that now this video, we try to see how you can manipulate, how you go fit manipulate your words, your what is it called? How you go fit manipulate background image. So if we enter now, we add background image, that is the size. We'll talk about size. If you put cover, remember now cover we used last time. Run and begin Control F5. Next thing I don't cover. So we are the background image don't cover. So now let's see how that is. So you feel. Remember, we said no repeats. Let's assume we say repeats. Let me try repeats. Let we say as repeat will be. Now instead of this place now, we say no repeat. Let's remove this no. Scoop out. Let's say repeat Control F5. No, we want to make us see how. Say what? Background repeats. So we will remove all this. Background cover, place, and the rest of it. So say repeat Control F5. You see how it will be. Now you say repeats. Now this repeats. You go first say repeats horizontal. You can say repeat repeat vertically. So if you want to do that one, what you go do? We say background the background position where the repeats go there. Is it button? Is it okay? No, not we use background position first. We use background repeats. So this background repeats. You want to tell how where it will repeat you. So this repeat is going to be X. You have S. See, here S here Y here. May we try S from our background is Control F5. The repeat don't go X. That is horizontal repeats. Now may we come out and we come out. Instead of S, may we put Y. No run and again Control F5. Which can go. So we manipulate and do anyhow we want to. Now we want to say no repeats. No repeat. Instead of repeat now, let's say no repeat. Then after no repeats, they will say background attachments, feast, and after background attachment, let's say background cover, background background size, background size will be what cover. Control F5 no see how this one go be. This one is feast. The background is feast. That means if you just scroll, to me your website now long and you scroll go down. This image not go scroll. But apart from that, we feel say instead of using feast here, you can use scroll. Scroll. Instead of using feast, you can use scroll. That means background. Then instead of using cover, you go feel use some percentage. You can say 50% instead of maybe we try 50%. So no one may our image cover everything. We just 50% I have. Control F5, no see how this one go. So you see this 50% now, it dey left. Why? Because now this place is the default position. Or you can decide to say let it come right. You can decide to say let it come bottom. You can decide to say let it come bottom center. May we try those three positions. So instead of after you don't specify the percentage, you fit specify say background position. Background position, let me we use the right. Father, remember I said the default my left. Control F5. So you don't come left now. So you don't come left. Then or you can say instead of left, you can say bottom. Say bottom. Control F5. So you see this one is the bottom now. You can also you fit specify center also. So this one we don't give the image percentage. You don't want to make the image cover everywhere. So now one of the ways we will fit manipulate background image. So then the next video where I want to attach to this video. Now be how to create a table. How you go fit create a table, and then how you go fit create with the all selects. You want to create a form where somebody go fit select some things for inside that form. So what I go do now, I want to create another file. So just say new file. So I'll call this one table.html. Remember, if you create HTML file, you must specify saying .html so that if your browser so that your browser will feel know say now wetin they try to do with this one table.html. And remember, say if you create HTML, see what you need to do. Remember, they create HTML. See what you need to do. Don't forget that one. So we want to do the first thing is doc type. Not create a file. Let's see we go right now, doc type. Doc type. This one not get closing tag. Next thing is HTML. This one get open and closing tag. Then the next one, I want to put head here, but later we'll do a video, we'll tell you what is the meaning of head. So we get head, then after head, we're not going to put anything there that head. Then we will get what that will show you some things where you need to put for your head. And a very important things where you need to put for head. The next thing after the body, we will call this one body. Okay, that's the graph our body. Remember that body get opening and closing tag. The only thing we need here, we need H, head. We'll call an H1. So this H1 will call an table. So let's start to make that to the table. So how did they create table? You just ignore, no need closing that time. You just want table again to be. Combine this no more closing time. Let's say table. Now table you just want name of the table. Now, if you want to create table, get what they call table tag. That's the first way you write table. Remember that table has rows, but you also get columns. Table get rows, get columns. So the first thing, the first line, thing now the row, table row, that's the first thing. That is TR. That's what table row. Then we did this table row. The first row, remember for table, the first row has to do with table heads. That is the title of the table. For instance, your name. So the first table head should be name. So call our name. Table head. Remember the table head. First table row and table head. You'll get another table head. So the second table head, we will call them age. Then the third table head, we'll call them what? Sex. We'll call them sex. So maybe we just create table we get only 3 data. So the next thing you will close that table row. Don't close that first row. Now you enter again, create another row. Remember, have another table row again. Now the second row. We don't enter the second row now. Open them. We just said that second row. What we need are not be table heads, but we don't do. We are done with table head. So what we know now is table data. So who data go there? So the name will be Daniel. The name will be Daniel. Then close that table data. Another table data will be what is my sex? Don't be sex. Second one says now, so no age. 27. Then the second table data will be what the third table data will be sex, which is male. Male. No we then if you don't do it done with this one, you have to close that table. Don't close that table row. Don't close that table. You enter again. I want to click on that the last table row. Table row again. So inside this one we get table TD table data. Where data is Mary instead of Daniel. You enter again another table what data. What is the sex? Had to be age will be 33. Then the last table data TD will be sex, will be female. That's a female. Then create female. So they will run this code and say control F I. So now like this is a creative mistake. Don't create it. Don't create it. So the title of the table get issue. So we'll look the code to know why the title of the table get why the title of the table gets that issue. So if we go back, close this place, go back to our code. So we write that we look, we discover say this thing there. So we go back. So write the tape, the name where take T in that time. So if we run and in control, F5. This is the head tape. So here also, see this one gets last some here. So when we are done with this one, after we don't finish this one now. So the next thing, see this one again, this time. So one creates another that so we don't finish the table. So we'll go after that table. We enter again. One creates which I call how to do selects. Want to create a form, what do we call? So first thing we'll put it in H1. We'll call our H1 HTML form. And we'll call our HTML form. How to create HTML select, not just form, select, we'll call a select form. For instance, you get plenty card. Then one, then our head, our paragraph, we'll just put P. So we'll call a cars. Our P will be what card. For name of card, let's just say this or card. So if you want to select, HTML go to the call select. So we'll use the select tag. Select tag get to put open and close. Inside this select, our first select going to be option. The first thing going to be option. Our first card let it be Camry. To be which card they select the cards you want. That can be if you use that one as a P, let the card you want instead of just card. Then we don't write option one. Option two, let's say fold. Folds are option two. Then option three. I am that. Wait, I am that. We do the last option. So now just option will be put. So the next option will be the other card. Where is the other card? Let's say out. This is our cards. So let me run the code in control F5. See, these are our cards. This is HTML select form. These are our heading. They have cards. If I click on here and I see the options, go. You want to select both. So now this same way that they do, if you want to select your country, now just put the name of all the country as options. So very simple. So this is HTML, select form. So the last thing I want to show you for HTML, I'll close this space. I'll go back to our websites. You get one thing where they call for the head section of your website. Head section, there are some things where you need to put for head section where it will help people see your websites. Now, maybe we'll open this index.html. Remember that this index.html, after the HTML tag, we just put what. But there's something where you're supposed to put that they call another tag we're supposed to put, they call heads. So this head tag, here you could put some things where we take define your meta. We call it the meta tag. The meta tag. So the first meta tag we get, we define the character set of our websites. So we'll say meta. So you are telling which character set. So meta, we have a chart set. So my chart set would be UTF. So I'm using UTF-8. So that is my chart set. So this one will tell us which chart set, character set will be used for your website. Remember these things be very what important. Then there's another thing that is very important for websites. Viewports. You get what they call viewports. Now that viewports will help your website to be responsive. You get what they call responsive. You know, since people want to put your website now, you don't know what they will take, whether na laptop they want to open your website to, you don't know. Whether na phone, one small phone, whether na palm top, and they want to open them, you don't know. So this one, this meta, it will make your website they what responsive. That means any device where they take open your website will show clearly, not go this small. So you got to fit define that one. It's another meta tag where you need to do. The name, we write the name. The name is view. The name is viewports. So we have that's the name of what? Chart set. Then the contents will be now have the contents. So that the content you talk about the initial scale. So take note of this this importance meta tag viewports. It's very, very important. And this one will tell you whether you're listening. So the content will be you have to talk about width. You're talking about the width of your website. The width to be what device by saying let the width be what device with depending on the device that is used to open my website. Then you now have initial scale. So the other thing we put the initial scale. The initial scale will be 0, let's say 1, 0.1%. That's initial scale. Then you enter, that is a meta. Then you get another meta where you still need to use another meta. For instance, you need to give description to your website so that, for instance, if your website now they talk about how to code, so that when somebody they look for any website where they talk about how to code, it go easy for your search engine to bring out your website. So it's very important to do what this viewport that is called what description or the keyword description. And do the keyword description, keyword, and then the description. So you have the meta, the name is what? That name is called description. So the name is description. So that's the name of the content. So the content is going to be whatever you are doing. You can say coding. The things you are doing, you now put them, separate them under command. Coding, data, with data analysis, data science. So everything you are doing, you put them under one description. They are describing what. Then the last meta tag need to do to show that all these meta tags you have to be closing them. You don't close them, so you need to be closing them. You don't have, does not have closing tag, but you need to put you need to put that the column. That is greater sign for one. Then the last one we need to do, maybe you need to do, you do what I call the keyword. So that the name is have name. So your name is keyword. So keyword means which people feel they your content. So your keywords, you define your keywords so that what people go to search for. If people they search for that thing, whether they search of coding, they search of web development, they search for anything. So your website will pop up. So all this meta tag, they're very important. So all this one, and then you can also do author self. There's another one we call, they will describe the person with the author of the, so I'm going to describe the author of the website. So the name is, so you have author. You have author, the author with the content you want. Have author, then content. The content that the name is author and the content is was to then I just put that. Remember your book, put that. So and like this, so all this is very important. Can even refresh, like again another way that call was refresh. That one will help to refresh your website. Maybe every 30 seconds, if you subscribe particular time, interval way that refresh for the take place. So take notes. This mental tag they take very well. But I remember whenever through these websites, the next thing we will do now is CSS. And then in that CSS class, I will show you 3 ways that they use CSS for HTML documents. 3 ways that they use CSS for HTML documents. Remember, we are still working on this. It's our website. Remember, I said this meta tags now. If you run the code, you're not going to show anything because this thing are just to describe to help your website they visible so that they will also WordPress responsive. And so if you run the code now, you're not going to say anything. That has to do with meta tag. But remember that meta tag appears where they put an in between the head tag, opening and what the closing tag. So I am going to end this class. So thank you for watching. Remember, say subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you get any video we want me to do for you, let us know. That will go down for you. They simplify everything. They simplify everything that's to do with towards websites, development. So thank you for watching. You are blessed. Bye.